So here was me thinking, I've got the biggest news at the next Low Blows catch up. I'm gonna be like, look, after many years away, 7 years since the last time we ran an event in Woolshed, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna be the guy with all the news. And then we're chatting away in the Low Blows group chat that we still have and still keep in touch with. And then out of nowhere, she has to go and one up me. Katie Harvey turns around and is like, guess what, lads? I'm go- Oh, wait, actually, is this
No, it's
okay?
okay.
Yeah. It's okay. Okay. Grand. Katie Harvey turns around and says, I'm going to WrestleMania. And like, what the fuck? I'm like, come on. Like, Jesus Christ. You have to, like, do you have a sign to point to? Like, what's going on? Katie, you're going to WrestleMania. This is a massively exciting time. Congratulations.
It is very exciting, very last minute,
Yeah.
very irresponsible, to be honest. But the opportunity presented itself, and I just don't know if I'll ever get the chance to go again. I always thought me and Phil will go to WrestleMania together. I said it to him. I was like, look, a tickets come up, go. And I was like, oh, I thought we'd always go together. He's like, nah. I was like, what do you mean, nah? Just like, I'm not a big live events guy. I was like,
But it's WrestleMania.
WrestleMania. He's like, honestly, just as happy watching it at the Low Blows party with a couple of pints.
Well said. Thank you, Katie. I
So,
appreciate that.
so that's where Phil will be while I am in Philadelphia watching WrestleMania. So
You don't even get to go to Philly with Philly. Like, what a waste! Like, what an absolute waste. Corbin Keane, welcome to Aslo Blows as well. Any holidays planned for you? Anything in the pipeline? Any way to one up the big news? What's going on in Corbin Keane's world?
No, I'm going. It's quite funny actually because I bought like the second. I remember like when that Wembley show ended, like the second it was over and I announced the next date for like the following year. I was like, right, I'm going again. I'm making a full weekend of it. Blah, same as last year, whatever. And it's only like a month later I kind of realized like, don't, I'm actually still glad to be going. And so it's definitely like a fun weekend to do anyway. So there's no reason not to do it. But
Yeah.
I'm like, the significance isn't really like it's not as important as last year. Like I'm not like, oh my god, oh, I can't wait. Like I'm excited for the weekend just because I'm gonna be meeting a lot of people over the weekend and stuff. But I'm
Mm.
not actually like it's like any weekend away. It's not like, oh my god, we're going into a wrestling show, at Wembley. It's kind of like it's probably still be good, but it's not like I'm not like insanely buzzing over that specific aspect of it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
to answer your question, no, I don't have any exciting holidays planned anywhere near WrestleMania in Philadelphia. But should be all right.
Just have to go and outdo us. Still
I
be
know,
big leaguing us all these years, Katie
I know,
Harvey.
I know. And look, not only that, but I get to make my little US wrestling debut.
Yes.
So that's pretty exciting as well. So with the Cheeseburgers promotion, we're doing a little Fight Factory cheeseburger dojo crossover. So yeah, there's a good few of us on it. The Freshness, JB, LJ Cleary. There's a good gang of us on it. So it's like I'm flying on Friday night. I'm flying home on Monday. It's literally just going to be a jam-packed wrestling weekender. Like it's too
Amazing.
much wrestling,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think. But
Amazing. But when you do that much and you have that like much packed in, I got the same when I went to Wrestle Kingdom. You don't have time to be like jet lagged or anything because it's so packed and you're trying to fit so much into a short. So yeah,
yeah.
you'll be like, I will deal with this on the plane home, and then just like
Oh, look,
everything.
I'm a mother to a 2-year-old. I
Yeah.
exist on Monster and Fresh Air. That is how I get through my day. So this is grand.
Amazing. Well, look, we'll look forward to hearing about your adventures. All in as well. Like, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I am gonna end up going. Like, I booked accommodation literally as we left Wembley Stadium, where we're waiting in the scrum of thousands of people. I was like on booking.com, but we haven't bought tickets yet. We know we will because it's not going to sell out. But again, it just doesn't have the same buzz. But yeah, exciting times. WrestleMania coming up. Obviously, guys, if you haven't heard already, somehow, finally, Low Blows. We're not only is Low Blows back, Low Blows itself is back in the Woolshed. We're going to be for the first time for 7 years coming home. It's been a long and winding road back there. Literally, as of like we did, and I wasn't messing. The last time we did a show was just before the Royal Rumble, and I was like, I'd actually love if someone did parties. You know what I mean? And I was genuinely done. But then the amount of queries we got coming into the Rumble, and just everything that kind of built up over the last year, like stuff that happened in work, that kind of made me nostalgic for it. Like I got like a qualification in customer experience, and I'm like, I actually love that stuff. I love like making surprises for people and making people stay and stuff like that as well. And getting really nostalgic. There was All In, like, because I wasn't really that passionate about wrestling, which is why I kind of got out of Low Blows to begin with. I'm like, you can't do this unless you absolutely love it and you want to make the best wrestling experience for people possible. And then just the Royal Rumble, like I even had a little party in my apartment and stuff, and I'm like, right, everything is pointing one way. Like even like WWE pay-per-views moving to Saturday. Like again, it's like everything is lining up. The world is telling me to do this. I want to do it, and I'm sitting here now. If you're not watching the video in the Low Blows hoodie that I literally handmade as of last weekend, so I'm all the way back in. I hope you guys at home listening are too. If you can make it, it's just WrestleMania Saturday for this year. Look, if you know about the last time we were in the Woolshed, you'll understand why maybe they're a little bit cautious about doing Sunday nights. Kind of was a little bit of a garter ride. We don't talk about that much, okay? But Saturday nights are grand. They're a little bit cautious then, but this is kind of for now. I don't want to say it's a one-time only deal, like because they're very excited. We're very excited as well, but we do need support. So again, come down, show them that you want this back. If you're not going to WrestleMania like Katey, show them that you want this back. Get down. We're going to be doing it all the way. Keep in touch with the socials for announcements as we go on. It's going to be deadly. I cannot fucking wait. It is going to be the most surreal moment being back there. It's like walking into a previous life, and I cannot wait. The amount of names I'm seeing of people I haven't spoken to in years, the amount of kind of, you know, stuff we have planned, and like just the way of we've just clicked back into gear. We have the likes of Jerry and Jimmy on the door, so it's like we're bringing back the original cast, guys. This ain't no shitty reboot. This is the way you remember it, guys. It's going to be really good, and I cannot wait. So make sure you're there if you're not already. Guys, we have your questions in for today, but also as well, we do want to talk WrestleMania and some wrestling. So we're going to try pepper the questions in. If we don't get to them, don't worry. We will hold on to your questions for the next time we do tape, but we want to prioritize. This is our WrestleMania preview show. A couple of wrestling news items, though, I do want to touch on beforehand since we last spoke. The small matter of Vince McMahon resigning from WWE. He's now not on the board for the first time. This is the first WrestleMania with Vince McMahon playing essentially no part in it. And obviously all of the scandals that have broken ever since. Corporate Keen, what are your thoughts on kind of everything that's broken? How are you feeling now? It was a couple of months ago now, I recognize, but still stuff is breaking every day. What are your thoughts on all that's gone on? Like,
I don't know. I thought this has been happening. It's, I thought this has been happening for like, oh, what? I thought this is like what you're telling me.
yeah,
I thought this has been the case for like not a year, because I remember like just after WrestleMania last year, there was talk of him like wheezing his way back in and stuff. Um, but like most of the last year, I don't know. I find it very hard to keep on top of it. I'm not gonna lie, because I never know
yeah,
when he's in or out. But it's good that he's fully out now. Like I heard like. Again, I'm really out with loop with this stuff, but as far as I know, they kind of like used him or something and then like fucked him out or something like that. That's what I heard,
yeah,
which is great.
yeah.
Um, for like real life reasons and also for like even just like fan like TV reasons. Like just there's literally zero good reasons for him to be there, and infinite good reasons for him to be gone. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there'd be too many arguments there. Katie, a brand new world of WWE. They've signed a TV deal. It's going to air on Netflix next year. What are you feeling about this kind of new look Vince McMahon-less WWE? Like, how are you feeling? Obviously, going to WrestleMania. Look, we all know you've got like a personal stake now in the day-to-day run-ins, close personal friends with the NXT Women's Champion. So, you know, it's exciting times for you anyway, but like now, like as when you put your fan kind of goggles on, as you will, when you're going to Mania, is this exciting for you? Does this feel fresh? Does it feel different? Or is it like kind of, you know, the same WWE you would have always kind of watched? How are you feeling about it?
Yeah, I'm kind of like Keen in that I feel like there's been so much going for so long that it hasn't really made a blip in my radar.
Mm,
And honestly, like it's one of them things that I've kind of buried my head in the sand about because I'm enjoying WWE so much right now. that I don't want to think about the icky stuff. As
Yeah.
horrible as that sounds, I'm like, I'm glad he's gone because now I feel better about how much I'm enjoying this product.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think that's fair as well. Like it is good, but I don't think the two things are separate. I think it's because he's gone. There was very much like you could tell when Vince McMahon was kind of with WWE. There was the shit jokes, the kind of the stupid angles, everything changing every now and then. And I think it's very clear and very defined. And I think I don't think the two things are completely disconnected. Katie, I wanted to check in on something just before we get on to WrestleMania, that I know would have been near and dear to your heart. Obviously, long-time listeners of Low Blows will know you are one of the biggest Sting fans, probably the biggest Sting fan I've ever met. Career ended recently. I don't know if you got a chance to see the final match yet, or kind of what are your thoughts on kind of everything there? Like, because I guess now it's your time to shine when Sting is all people are talking about.
Well, did I get to watch it? Let me see. I blocked off my calendar one night. I sat Phil down. I made Phil watch 3 of my favorite Sting matches of all time. I talked to him at length about why Sting was so important and so cool. I am not sure he was convinced by my arguments or by the matches I showed him, but I don't think anyone could have ever asked for a better retirement than what Sting got. That is one thing AEW do so well, is they really, really respect past history. They really play it up. They really lean into it. I just thought the whole thing was perfect. His sons, unreal. And the fact that they're not wrestlers blows my mind because they were just like, they fitted in so well. And it didn't feel like a, like, do you remember like when David Flair was in WCW with Ric Flair?
Mm.
Like they were more professional than David Flair. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean? Like they
Wow,
came across
wow.
more like wrestlers.
What's this David Flair fucking slander coming into the coming into the
I
podcast for
like
no reason? Fellas just catching strays, like.
and I like David Flair, but you know what I mean? It's just like you know, you can just tell when somebody's look, I'm walking myself. I really like Sting's sons, okay? Let's just leave it at that. I wish they were a real tag team. And the match made me very emotional and I cried all the way through it. And Sting did some things in that match that he should not have been doing in the 60s. And you know, it was just the perfect send-off. And I hope he never does that in wrestling again because that was perfection.
Yeah, yeah, and I guess that's the hope for a lot of us. But again, like I don't know, I feel like he will respect this. I feel like Sting
I think so.
cares about this stuff as well, and he seems to have done it. I'll give AEW a lot of stick, and sometimes their shows can be borderline unwatchable. They can be messy, they can be professional and stuff, but they nailed every aspect of Sting's last run. I remember when he showed up, and I'm like, yeah, I get where you're going for. And we slagged it on the show because it was here at the time. Well, Katie didn't, let the record show. Katie was very much a fan. And look, but history has proven you right here. I think they nailed all of Sting's final run. They showed him great respect. They didn't put him in they put him in situations where he was set up to succeed like this. You know what I mean? The people
Yeah.
around him were there. The razzmatazz, they set it up in such a way that suited what he could do. But then, as you say, he also brought it physically himself, and it was really, really good to see. I was delighted for him. And AEW itself is kind of having a bit of a comeback after what was maybe a bit of a down year. Keen, you were talking about All In there. You know, they have the likes of Mercedes Moné, Kazuchika Okada, Will Ospreay signed. Do you think AEW might be making a bit of a charge back at WWE now, or kind of what are your thoughts on? Are you getting much of a chance to watch it? Are you still interested? Did the signing tree kind of generate your interest, or where are you at when it comes to that?
I genuinely, you know what? It's only as this podcast progresses, I realize I'm the most useless guest to have on right now. I don't get me wrong, right? It's not, it's not like a lack of interest. I love to sit down and watch AEW. I'd love to sit down and watch WWE. I tried to watch Raw yesterday, when things were getting quiet in work. I was like, oh yeah, grand, I'll throw that on. And things got busy again 5 minutes later. I was like, all right, that's that then.
Yeah.
I haven't I've had fuck all time to watch wrestling generally in the last while, and usually the priority, I think it's more just because it finds its way onto my timeline, would be like WWE, just because of all the Rock stuff and the CM Punk stuff there. Like I think the other day, like there's been things that were like popping up kind of organically, whereas AEW, I'm like, oh, I kind of have to go out my way to watch it just for, again, like not that it's not doing well or anything, but I just find it doesn't find its way in onto my social media as easily or as quickly.
Yeah.
And I just haven't had time in like at least a month or two to sit down and actually proper bar one or two. Do you know what's crazy, right? Sting's last match you mentioned, yeah? I don't remember. I don't think I've ever had the situation where I wanted to watch a pay-per-view and I ended up not watching it until a week after it came out. Not
Wow.
like a day or two, a week and that was a major, like that was a big enough, pay-per-view. And I literally just never got around to watching it. It's like what Katey used to be. It's shocking. Um, I do expect to get on top of it soon enough, eventually. But yeah, it's a bit of a struggle.
Okay, fair enough. Well, look, glad to hear that you're busy. Corporate Key's getting all
I'm
grown up
not.
here.
I don't
Yeah.
want to be busy. I hate it. Like I want to
Am
watch
I
wrestling. Like
watching? Am I watching more wrestling than Kane right now?
I think you might
that is
be.
bad. That's a bad
What's
state of
happening?
affairs.
Like for the record, Katie for the first time ever was on like logged on before Keen. Katie's usually like very unprofessionally late. This is backwards. Katie's now going to wrestling shows. She's going to live wrestling. Keen didn't get a chance to watch the pay-per-view. The roles have completely reversed here in Low Blows. I don't know what's going on, but it's interesting to see. I like sitting back here as a spectator and just enjoying it all. um, Let's talk about WrestleMania, and we do have some WrestleMania team questions. We do want to get them in as well, so don't worry. We will kind of pepper them throughout as they're relevant. We'll go through. We don't have kind of the night one, night two breakdowns because they haven't been released yet as we record. But we'll go through kind of the match by match quick picks anyway. And then we'll kind of talk about the big matches with a bit more depth. LA Knight, AJ Styles. I don't know why these two men don't like each other, except for they both have like kind of two letter first names and 6 letter second names. So I don't know, maybe they're just the symmetry just gets to them and just bothers them. LA Knight again, kind of coming off the biggest year of his career at one time. Like people were calling out for him to be champion. Is this a fitting match for him? Is this going to be a fitting moment, or do you think kind of his momentum? They dropped the ball with LA Knight. How's everyone kind of feeling about this being LA Knight's WrestleMania match after the year there was? Keen, I know you're a big LA Knight fan, so I guess I'll throw to you first.
Oh, do you know what? I'm not. It'll be good. Like, AJ Styles is fucking massive now. By the way, it's like he ate the previous AJ Styles. That's pretty mad. Um, I've seen some of the stuff they're doing. They're obviously like they did the home invasion stuff or whatever. I laughed because I remember I saw the clip of LA Knight being dragged into the car and being like, yeah, I was like the cops are like dragging him into the car and all. Um, I think it's all right, but I think the match will be good, but I'm disappointed. I really wanted Logan Paul versus LA Knight. I think that would have been such a fun
Mm,
match, such a fun feud. Um, I'm looking at Logan Paul versus like I have the card in front of me because I'm a professional like that.
nice.
And I see Logan Paul against Orton versus Owens, and I'm like, again, I'm sure it'll be good, but I just feel like I don't know. LA Knight versus Logan Paul would have been a bit more fun.
Mm.
I feel like that just felt like the right direction to go in. Um, yeah, LA Knight versus AJ Styles. It's a random feud. I don't really like. I don't know. I don't really feel it,
Yeah.
but I don't know. It'll be a good match. It's not one that I'm really. It's to be honest, I actually kind of forgot it was on the show until you mentioned it. But yeah,
Casual Keen. It's not corporate Keen anymore. It's casual Keen. Totally. I love it. Katie, is this something you're looking forward to? Who do you think's gonna win?
It's. I'm also looking up the card now because I'm a professional. Honestly, if you ask me to name out like 5 matches I'm looking forward to, it wouldn't jump to mind. But it's going to be great when I watch it.
Yeah.
You know, live when I'm there in Philadelphia watching WrestleMania.
Mm.
I can't believe I get to say that. I'm very excited. But yeah, it's just not a match that's really piqued my interest. Like it's gonna be grand. I probably would have expected LA Knight to do something bigger, to be fair. But
Yeah.
like the main event is so big. How do you get anyone else to that level? Like you don't. You just
Yeah.
have to have some really good undercard matches, and that's one of them.
Yeah, I think it's a good excuse to get AJ Styles on the card, and I think it's a way to get LA Knight a win, a WrestleMania moment. I think that's all it is. There's no need to overthink it. Jey Uso against Jimmy Uso kind of is the next stage in the rivalry of kind of a subgenre, a match where it's brother against brother, and these can go one of two ways. You can of course have Cody against Dustin Rhodes, that kind of classic where they know each other inside out, and it goes along that, or you can have Matt versus Jeff Hardy. Does anyone remember that? If you don't, you're probably better off. It was fucking awful. And they immediately killed the feud and put them back as a team because they do not have chemistry when they're wrestling against each other. Katie, do you feel that these two are going to tear the house down? Do you feel that this could be a show stealer, or do you feel that is this kind of capturing your interest? Is this the dream match that they're kind of playing it up as?
This is one of my most look forward to matches.
Oh, wow.
Like I don't know why. I just feel like they're going to bring it. Like this is probably top two looking forward match to for me. Like I love Jey Uso. I love everything that they've done, and I'm excited. They're going the street fight route as well, aren't they?
As far
Or
as yeah, I'd say they will anyway. If they haven't, they might go bloodline rules. Although I think every second match on the pay-per-view is bloodline rules at this stage. But yeah, it's singles for now. There's no stipulation, but I wouldn't be surprised if they went that
yeah,
direction.
I feel like it's gonna go stipulation, and I feel like they're gonna go all out. I feel like it's gonna be a spectacle match. We don't
Mm.
really want to see them just lock up. I feel like it'll be a spectacle match, and like I'm all for it.
Yeah, I'd say Solo will be involved in some way as well. Like it'd be crazy not to have him involved and do a like old school like Vince and Shane McMahon type of real like storyline based match. And I think that's what the Bloodline and Jey Uso are really used to that. So I think if they can go that route and not try have a wrestling classic, they don't need to. This feud can go 3-4 months. They can continue to wrestle each other, but I think now it should just be a good storyline match. I think WWE's got really good at doing them at WrestleMania in the past few years. Keen, you looking forward to the Uso Civil War?
I strongly disagree with what you just said. I first of all, I'm buzzing for this match. Like I like Katie. Like outside of like the main event, like outside of Reigns Rhodes, this is like my match I'm buzzing for. WrestleMania, Uso versus Uso. I saw someone say on Twitter there that they don't want the idea of two wrestlers with the same movesets having a match is it sounds shite, whatever. I don't give a fuck, and I don't want Solo involved, and I don't want some fucking slow plodding storyline fucking shite. I want a big fuck off in the fucking fuck everything, just super kicks and fucking flips and this and that. Just go fucking all out, like, and don't drag this on for 4 months. I don't need to see it again and again and again. I want just leave it all in this one match. Do you know what I mean? Make this the special fucking match on the biggest stage. I cannot fucking wait for this. I'm hoping that's what they do. I'm hoping it ends up being a banging match. I think it has so much potential. It's an interesting one because I kind of just assumed that it's like, this is just to elevate Jey Uso, but then I'm kind of like, I think Jimmy Uso is as good as Jey Uso, and then I'm also like, Jimmy Uso, if there is any plans for him singles wise, this would be how you'd elevate him. I don't know. I think Jey Uso's probably gonna win, but either way, I just want this to be the best match ever. Do you know what I mean? I really, really hope to go fucking all out on this. But yeah,
Interesting. I think Jimmy is like a good wrestler. I don't think anyone disputes that, but he's also not as good at driving sober. So I think that's why Jay is main event Jey Uso. So I think that's probably why he's going to win this match when it comes down to it. We got a question in from El Flaco Blanco about the next match. The triple threat you mentioned earlier for the US Championship, Logan Paul defending against Randy Orton and Kevin Owens. The big gimmick around this match is, do you think the prime advertising on the ring, Matt, for Mania is actually legit? I reckon the US Triple Threat will be the first match on night one, and the prime logo is going to get torn off the ring to a big pop from the crowd. What are your thoughts on this? And I guess the sponsorship is kind of a big deal because that's something which that could low-key ruin WrestleMania if it looks shit and it's really distracting. Keen, what are your thoughts on the Prime sponsorship? Have you heard too much about this, or are you?
I've heard nothing about this. This is news to me. That's actually like that's first of all that's hilarious. The idea of like ripping off the Prime thing and everybody going mad.
So on the ring mat is going to be the Prime logo for
I
they say for WrestleMania.
I'm not surprised in the Vince McMahon era that they haven't copied what the UFC have done. It looked fucking awful, but I'm so surprised they haven't done it because I'd imagine there's so much money in it to be made where they put like fucking Prime here, Uber Eats there, fucking Spotify, like if you ever look at a UFC Octagon, it looks like shit. You know what I mean? If you look at like especially like a bird's eye view down on the cage, like there's just sponsors everywhere. It looks awful. I hope no promotion does that where they kind of like it's one thing saying, oh, this match is sponsored by whatever, like that's whatever, but to like fill the ring, the entire canvas with sponsors will be, I think it'd be the shits. But I do see them doing it. Like I wouldn't be surprised if this is actually like a real sponsorship. But I like that idea, the idea of somebody ripping off. I think that's so funny. Like,
Yeah, I think it is a good one. Katie, what are your thoughts? Is this legit, or do you think that it's a
Like
gimmick?
it looks shit, so I hope it's not legit. But I fear it is.
Mm.
I fear it is. Like they've tried stuff before, like not advertisements, but even like the Bray Wyatt match with the projections on the canvas and stuff, and like it just never looks good, you know.
Yeah.
Um, I don't like change. I don't like change like that. Just, it took me a long time to get used to those video side panels on the ring instead of an apron, Stuff
Yeah.
like that really throws me. When they throw in a new camera angle, I'm like, what the fuck is this? So like I will get distracted by that. So I really hope it's not real.
Robbie, I think you've hit on something here, and the two words I'd have for this is soft launch. I think they probably will do something because it's too on the nose, and they're getting heel heat out of the fact that they're having Prime on the ring canvas. But I think they want to test it here and see what it looks like, see how people respond, see if the world goes insane. And they still get they still get the sponsorship money. It's still on the canvas for the match, and that's probably all he's paid for. But maybe not. Like, I think WrestleMania is an aggressive time to try that, because if it goes wrong, then your WrestleMania just looks like shit. But for this match, I think it'd fit. I think, yeah, maybe night one or night two, the opening match. I hope Becky's the opening match for night one. I'd like, if she can't main event, I want it to be the first one out, but that's just personal preference. Ladder match for the tag team championships. Judgment Day defend against DIY, Awesome Truth, New Day. And then 2 of 4 from a still ongoing SmackDown tournament, either Legado del Fantasma or New Catch Republic, obviously Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, or you've got Austin Theory and Grayson Waller and the Street Profits in the other. If I was to guess, I'd probably say Street Profits, New Catch Republic, but I don't know. Any thoughts on who's going to walk out, or do you think we'll see Judgment Day retain? Katie, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I had not looked into this match whatsoever, but
I have the Wikipedia open in front of me, yeah, and it's like I'm like, all right, Legado del Fantasma, new catch. I'm like, oh, that's a semi-final. I'm like, it's only like one fucking team in the entire fucking. Oh, yeah, I'm glad you asked Katie first. I'm gonna think about it while Katie comes up with an answer.
like I feel like the Judgment Day should retain out of all them, but also it's a ladder match and there's too many teams, so shenanigans for losing. I seen someone say, is Big E coming back? Like, Square, like getting involved with the Judgment Day, New Day, could be cool coming out of Mania, but like I also don't know if I'm just keeping my hopes up too much for Big E these days. If that was it, New Catch Republic is what Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate are calling their tag team.
Not great.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad, to be fair, but I mean, like,
they own British Strong Style though, so why not just go with what people know them as? Like, I don't get it.
Then they'd have to call Trent.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Katie Harvey shoots.
Don't fucking clip that. Don't clip that. Put that. Yeah, look, I think it's between the Judgment Day and the New Day.
Okay, Cian,
yeah.
thoughts?
So I think obviously Cody's winning. So I'm thinking like they might have someone like Finn Balor be his first opponent afterwards or something like that. So it might not be the Judgment Day retains. I don't think the Judgment Day retains at all. I'm looking at like the Awesome Truth. I'm hoping that they don't win, and I don't think they're gonna win. I think they're gonna give it to like a more kind of serious team. We say this all the time. Oh, is Biggie coming back? Is Biggie coming back? I think we just have to grow up and accept that he broke his neck. You know what I mean? Like, I think like I don't know if he does, and if Big E comes back, then obviously New Day are winning. That'd be brilliant. I think New Day are just in there to be there. I think they'll obviously help it be a really good match and stuff. But I don't know. I just don't think it's. I just think they're just there. I don't know. Like I'm looking at this. Now looking at SmackDown tournament, a lot of people are starting to get into that Austin Theory, Grayson Waller team. I think they're shy.
Yeah.
I actually hope they don't even make it into the match. I'm really not a fan of either of them. Street Profits are deadly, but I don't think they have the momentum to win a match like this yet. Again, I'm saying that somebody doesn't like watch the shows. Legado del Fantasma, Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, I know they're like new and they're kind of telling a story there, but I'm looking at all these teams and I think DIY are the ones that they've like. When I've watched Raw anyway, I've noticed they've been kind of like they've looked like they've been getting built up. I don't know, like that's just how from what I've seen.
They have
like against what are they? I keep calling them ring camps. They're not ring camps. What are they called? Imperium and all them. You know what I mean? I feel like I've seen DIY get into it with a couple of teams, and they've done that real like. What was that? Was it them that did that entrance where they followed them like all the way from like the back out to the ring?
Mm.
And I don't know, like I could be getting mixed up with a couple of different things. I just feel like they're probably planning something with DIY in a way that they're not with the other teams. So I'm gonna predict DIY.
Okay, interesting. I think a title change is happening, and that feeds into a theory that I'm going to share with you later on that I've actually done research for. Um, But I think there's going to be a title change here. I think this is our true WrestleMania moment. I think he's been a star since he came back. I think they want to give him something. I think Awesome Truth are going to win this. And it also feeds into a rematch with the Judgment Day. Then you can kind of keep that feud going as well, because that's been a big feud that they've kind of has got a lot of airtime on Raw. And I think it'd be I think it fits for a WrestleMania moment. I would not be surprised to see Big E there. They've got him very involved in TV, but like it might be him coming out and shaking hands with the guys. I don't think he's going to be doing spots or helping them with the ladder or anything like that. That's not how you bring someone back after a broken neck. But I'd be more shocked if we didn't see him at some stage. But I don't think he's going to get physically involved. If he did, it'd be class. I'd mark the fuck out, and I'd be confident that they know that it's safe for him to do so. But I'm like, if it's safe for him to do so, why not give him more and why not have him play more of a part? But yeah, I'm going Awesome Truth here. I want to give a shout out to Steve Carroll from work, who was devastated at the Intercontinental Championship match because he has been saying for months that Chad Gable is going to be the guy to beat Gunther for
Oh
the
my
belt.
man.
It is Sami Zayn here. Though Chad Gable isn't out of the storyline yet after the Gauntlet match. Like Sami Zayn kind of went the distance, but Chad Gable ran him very, very close, and they have those couple of backstage segments. Do you think Steve's theory has any legs or chances of succeeding, or do you think this is going to be 1-on-1? Do you think this is where Gunther's title reign ends, and now he's going to step
Oh,
up into a World Championship, or what are we feeling about this match?
so much to say.
Go for it.
I hate this, man. They fucking muddy the waters with Sami Zayn. I don't like it at all. Like, as the reason I was so passionate about Sami Zayn against Roman Reigns back then, right, was because like I kind of felt that was the moment. After that, I'm not gonna be as invested in Sami Zayn's like underdog runs. I'm just not super. I'm not super invested in Sami Zayn versus Gunther, but I was. So for me, right, Gunther is the best on the planet. Do you know what I mean? Gunther is like I can't like if I found out that Gunther was going to be the champion forever, I'd be happy, right? But Gunther served his purpose by getting me invested in Chad Gable for the first time since NXT. Like I don't know, did you see that video that they put out of Chad Gable going into that gauntlet and talking about
Yes.
how it was just to him, it was just a contest until he saw his kids cry and he was like, the only time your kids should ever cry should be out of happiness. And I was like, I was so invested in this to have Chad Gable, win that gauntlet, say from number one, go on and fight Gunther for the big one at WrestleMania and pull off the upset. Oh, it would have been so cool. Do you know what I mean? Again, it's like it would have been hitting right at the perfect moment. I feel. I
Mm.
think they saw WWE Germany in a couple of months and they just went, nah, fuck it, we want Gunther to stay champion. And I think they kind of fucked away something pretty cool just to do that. Um, I think Gunther. I mean, and for me, honestly, like I think it would have been a perfectly fun time for Gunther to lose to Chad Gable because I don't think Gunther is a million miles off the world title either. Especially if Cody Rhodes is walking out as champion. I think Gunther. By the what month are we in now? Fucking March. By the end of this
Yeah.
year, I wouldn't be surprised if Gunther was either champion or like in and around the world title picture.
Yeah.
I think this would have been such a good time for him to lose it to Chad Gable, and I don't see how any alternative they provide is going to be better than that, unless it's Gunther becoming, champ, champ, champ. But even then, I'm like, ah, man, I just think like because again, like Chad Gable for me is somebody who like I was such a big fan of back in the NXT days, and I've hated every single thing they've done with him since. I've hated every second of the Alpha Academy. They finally found something there where it's like, the sort of goofy but kind of serious, underdog baby face. It was just so cool. And now it's like, I don't care if he gets involved. I don't want a triple threat here because I don't want
Yeah.
Chad Gable to win a triple threat. That's not the story. You know what I mean? It's him versus Gunther. Like, it would have been like his fourth one-on-one match or something like that. The only
Yeah.
way I think you could salvage this would be if Gunther like murders Sami Zayn in the build up, like fuck, or maybe backstage on the night he just fucking destroys him backstage and kills him, whatever, right? And then they're like, oh, no opponent for Gunther. So Chad Gable says, fuck it, I'm ready, and they go on it. That's the only way I think you could salvage it. I really, really think this was it for Chad Gable. Um, and I don't know, I don't like the direction this has gone in at all, to be honest.
Okay. Interesting.
Oh, he's retaining, by the way. Gunther's retaining.
Gunther retaining. Okay, Katie, your own thoughts.
Gunther retaining. I don't want Sammy to be the one to beat him. It's a waste. I have lost. Like Sammy should have won the world title. Still stand by that. Don't care about this anymore. So
I like how we're still continuing the argument from a year ago. We haven't, none of us have backed down an inch on that. I agree. I think Gunther's retaining here. I think Chad Gable will be the one to beat him. I don't think he's holding on to the belt until Bash in Berlin. I think that's where he's going to fight for the world title. So I think Chad Gable's going to beat him on one of the other pay-per-views where he gets more of a chance to shine. I think it'll still work. Then because I think they're still keeping Chad Gable warm for a reason. But yeah, I think Gunther's winning here. Let's get on to the World Championship matches. Io Sky against Bayley. Do we think Bayley's retaining? Do we think Bayley's going to get the big moment at WrestleMania? Do we think it's going to work? Obviously, the face turn has been coming for a while. Solidified at the Royal Rumble, and then when she challenged Io for the belt, they're kind of stacking the odds against her with Damage Control all teaming up against her. What are our thoughts on this, Katie? Where are you feeling this one?
this is one of my other most anticipated matches. I want Bayley's WrestleMania moment. I love her. She deserves this. I will not be happy unless Bayley wins.
Yeah, agree. Cian, what are your thoughts?
I I wasn't sure because again, like just I've been out with the loop and stuff, but I feel like be cool though, wouldn't it? If like Asuka comes in, Bayley batters her, Kyrie comes in, Bayley batters her. Dakota Kai, am I right in saying she's healed as well?
Mm.
She comes in, Bayley batters her against all the odds, man, just to pull it off. Yeah, I think that'd be class, man. Why not? Like, fuck it. Like, why not just not everything has to build to like the next thing? I think, as you say, Bayley WrestleMania moment, I just don't really see much of a downside to it. Even though I think Io is arguably like the best wrestler they have, like on the women's side of things in WWE. I just think Bayley. Yeah, no, it'd be class, wouldn't it? No, I'm talking. The more I think about it, I'm actually like, no, yeah, Bayley win 100%. And when you watch it, even if you were like Io Sky's biggest fan, when you're watching that and you're seeing babyface Bayley, like this version, and this is something I love about Bayley as well, is how the character is constantly evolving. Like this, she has been a babyface before, but this is a whole new babyface Bayley. Do you know what I mean? Seeing that play out, I just think, yeah, fuck it, yeah, go on, Bayley winning. I think that'd be class. Like,
Okay.
but then I'm also like. I I think like yeah, Io Sky could end up being like another kind of longest reigning champion kind of deal, but nah, fuck it, we'll go Bayley. Yeah.
Okay, amazing stuff. I love it. Yeah, I'm picking Bayley to win here as well. Yeah, for all the reasons outlined above. I've nothing more to add. Potentially iconic women's championship match. Rhea Ripley against Becky Lynch. I personally think it's an absolute crime that this is not the main event. I know what they're going for with the main event of night one, but I don't think there's any need. I think this should be the main event of night one. It is that big of a match, passing the torch moment. Maybe the most iconic women's match that's ever happened on a WrestleMania, when you think it like Rhea is a super duper star in the making and is becoming that regardless of gender. Becky was the first person to do that. Probably going to be a pass to the torch. I'd be surprised if I saw Becky win. But I think this match is going to be awesome and has the potential to be the best women's WrestleMania match of all time. Cian, what are your thoughts? Do you think this is going to be passed to the torch? Are you excited for it? What are your own thoughts on this?
I was excited as you, Jesus. I think this will be like good. No, I never really. At no point did I look at this and think, oh god, this should be the main event. Do you know what I mean? I understand what you're saying and all, but like, I'm way more invested in like some of the other things that's happening right now. That like I kind of like I knew this match was happening. I'm not saying I didn't, but like as you say, the passing of the torch, there's no suspense. You know what's happening, and I think it's like it's gonna be good. Again, Rhea's a star and all that, and so is Becky. But for me, like this match, I don't know. I just never really thought of this as even. I just never even thought this is the main event. To be honest, even now with the women's matches, I'm more excited for Io versus Bayley.
Interesting.
But I mean, this should be good and all. But I'd say Rhea retains. I don't. It's kind of an interesting one, isn't it? Like, kind of where do you put a lot of these matches? Because obviously, there's a couple of matches here that like, yeah, obviously we have the main events for both nights. Seth and Drew, you'd imagine, are going to open the second night as well, and opening it is almost kind of like a secondary main event slot as well. So it's kind of like, where do you put these matches? Obviously, again, you got Io Bayley, you've got a couple like Uso versus Uso. Like, where does that go? You know what I mean? There's so many matches where I'm kind of like, where do you put?
Yeah.
That's the sign of a good WrestleMania, to be fair. Where you're like, where the fuck do you even put all this stuff?
Yeah.
I just never really saw it as a main event, but I'm looking forward to it. I think Rhea wins.
Okay, interesting. Katie, your thoughts on this one? Are you looking forward to this?
Yeah, no, I am. But yeah, like I'm very invested in Bailey's story. Kind of like what Cian's saying, but I do think this is. As soon as he said this could be the opener, I was like, yeah, I hope this is the opener. You know, like
Mm,
this is the one to get the most iconic WrestleMania kicked off.
mm.
Because you know it will be great. They're two great characters, and just yeah, look, yeah. And as Cian said again, there's you know who the winner is going to be.
Yeah.
Like I'd be very surprised if Becky won. So I think this is a great opener to get everyone pumped for the night.
Mm. And but again, like it doesn't matter. Sometimes the things are predictable. It's just like as long as you can make us believe for 2 seconds, for 2.5 seconds, that Becky might win and get us there, then I think this match works, and I think these people are capable of doing so. By the way, started listening to Becky's new audiobook or autobiography. Really good. I've only got a couple of chapters in so far, but really good. I really enjoy listening to her read it. She's a very charismatic narrator, which I hate listening to the real people do it sometimes because it doesn't sound like them. They sound like they're reading. She's brilliant. She's exactly the way you want her to be. She just sounds like she's having the chats about her childhood and stuff like that. It's really cool. So check it out if you haven't already. Let's just pair all of the main events up into one. So you've got on night one, obviously the Rock and Roman Reigns against Seth Rollins and Cody. Then on night two, you've got Seth against Drew with CM Punk on commentary now, announced on Monday. And then you've got Roman Reigns against Cody Rhodes. I think all of them play into each other, so I think there's no way you can really tie it up. And I want to get Adam's question. Clueless Nerd got in and asked, with the tag team match on night one, then Roman and Cody on night two, do you think this story is being overbooked now? Should have just stayed Roman versus Cody. So I'm just going to throw all that in there. And what are your thoughts? What's going to happen? What do you want to see happen? And how do you think all this is going to shake out? Is it the iconic main event they're playing it out to be? Does it all work for you, or is it overbooked? Katey, how are you kind of feeling about everything? I know you've been studying the tape on this.
I need to retract all previous negative statements about Cody Rhodes. He, I am firmly team Cody.
Nice.
Everything negative I've ever said, I was talking out my arse. And this has me more excited than I have been in years about WWE.
Yeah.
You know, I was quite angry how the direction went last year when we got Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens in the big tag match at Mania instead of, you know, Sami Zayn winning the title. We've been over all that. Yeah, no, they all played it perfectly. This is exactly how it should have turned out. This is very exciting. I am very happy with this as the two main events of WrestleMania. Rock is a heel as well. Unreal that he's not
Yes.
just coming back the happy clappy face. This is so much more interesting. There's just so many different threads. You know, I'm not the biggest CM Punk fan in the world. Loved his segment on Raw this week.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was just the right amount of like know-it-all dickhead, but like, you know, it was everything was just really well played. Everyone's just leaning into their character so well coming into this. And like I just even the end, was it the end of SmackDown or Raw where Cody had to come alone and you thought he was alone, and then the two lads come out of the crowd like sort of Shield style, and then they're on commentary being like, oh, referencing the Shield and stuff. And I'm like, I love that they're not afraid to reference all this, that they're digging into history, kind of like what I praised AEW for earlier as well.
Yeah.
There's just everything is so interesting about it. There's just a million ways it can go, and I am very happy it's a tag match and it's leading into a singles match. There's such a good story they can play over 2 nights.
Call it though. Who do you think's win the tag match? Who do you think's walking out the champions?
The stipulation for the tag match is if Reigns and Rock win, the Bloodline can be at ringside.
Can interfere.
Right, so they're definitely winning on night one, and then
Okay.
Cody's definitely winning on night two.
Okay. And Seth Drew?
I think Drew is probably winning. He's on a really good roll. And to be fair, he didn't really get his proper WrestleMania moment before because it was pandemic. He has put in a shift. Can you believe this is me saying all this? Like, I've done a 180 on everything I've ever said on this podcast.
The last year of the show was us just slagging Drew and his stupid sword for like every show.
I know. And now I'm like,
Yeah.
bring the sword back, Drew. Go on, reference it. Yeah, like they've built this perfectly. Like this is it. Like I hope Cody finishes the story.
Yeah,
I'm up for it.
It's gonna be great. Cian, what are your thoughts?
Overbooked my fucking arse, man. I love this. I love this so much, man. Even when I'm seeing clips of Raw and SmackDown, yeah, it it reminds me a lot when I was a kid, and like WrestleMania 23 was the first like build that I ever got to be a part of. And obviously, when you're an adult, you kind of know what to expect. Where kind of like, all right, you know, they square up on this show, and then there's a beatdown on that show, whatever. And as an adult, it doesn't really get you that excited. Do you know what I mean? Whereas when you're a kid, you're like, oh shit, John Cena and Shawn Michaels just won the tag titles together, but they're fighting each other at WrestleMania. You know, kind of way. Um, it is just like when I'm seeing like The Rock get involved and beating down Cody Rhodes there on Raw the other night. Um, it's just like every like little development and segment, like the build is just getting me more and more excited for this fucking main event. And I fucking love when night one feels like the night one and night two main events feel linked. Do you know what I mean? Now, again, not to keep bringing up the Sami Zayn stuff from last year, right? As much as I didn't like Sami not winning the title and all that, I did appreciate the fact that night one and night two, the two main events were synced storyline wise. I thought that was pretty cool. And it just makes the night two main event feel even fucking bigger. Not just night two main event this year, but also what'll probably be the opener as well. With Seth Rollins and Drew. I think this is fucking deadly. First of all, I think it's the perfect utilization of The Rock as well. We get to see The Rock wrestle without it kind of ruining the actual match itself. So I think night one it's quite clearly going to be, you know, what you call it, the bad guys win, so there's no DQ the following night. Night two starts, we get Rollins and Drew. Drew's winning that. I think he has to. I mean, it's clearly Drew and Punk for the title at SummerSlam or whenever Punk gets back. And then the main event again. Kind of obvious. All right, Cody's winning, but I think this is why I'm so excited to watch it. Because like, how are they going to do it? You know what I mean? I think it's often overlooked how good the first match was because the ending was so shit. The first Cody Roman match is actually pretty decent. But what you call it? The reason I'm excited is because I think no DQ. There's a reason why they did that stipulation for night one. I think night two is gonna be, if you don't like your overbooked messes, right? Just pause the podcast, right? Turn on something else, yeah. This is gonna be fucking messy. I think it's gonna be, you know, Usos getting involved, Solos getting involved. I think I'd like if Rollins was so beaten down that The Rock, of course. I'd like to think that Rollins is so beaten down that he can't get involved, like Drew just batters him. So that leaves us with now I would love, this isn't a prediction, I'd love for one to see Goldust. I don't, again, the odds of that happening are slim. I know obviously he works for AEW and all that. I don't think it's impossible. I don't like, when you look at like the people in charge of both companies, I don't know who'd be standing in the way of that. I mean, he's not even Goldust isn't in AEW, you know what I mean? His character in AEW is someone completely different anyway. So I don't really know why you wouldn't, why that wouldn't play a factor.
Great show.
Yeah. And it'd be such a special moment. I think that's gonna happen. Now,
what if he's in the crowd? What if he's in the crowd beforehand and he's just there with Cody's family? He's not as Goldust. He's just Dustin. He's there with Cody's family, and that feels like the special moment they gave us. Oh my God, it's an AEW wrestler, and then all the interference comes on, and he jumps the rail. And he just starts fighting off people. It's like, it feels unplanned. It feels like when Matt Hardy came back against Edge, like after they had the affair with Lee, and it's like, he's not supposed to be there. What the fuck? Imagine that. Oh my God.
So, I'm thinking, obviously, you've got Goldust with Cody and the Uso versus Uso and whatever else. But I'm also thinking, surely if The Rock gets involved, the glass is gonna shatter. Surely. You know what I mean? Surely.
They teased it. They've teased it.
Oh, is this the thing where they were on the bus or the truck in that camera angle? Just that I don't know if that counts as a tease. No, I don't know.
That's a tease. That's a tease. Nothing is going to happen at this stage.
I've seen Cena and Austin both linked with like taking out The Rock and like evening the playing field for like, the bloodline. I think there's so many people you can get involved in this, and this is why I was saying to you earlier, I don't want Uso versus Uso to be some like, Solo get involved or this person get involved. I want that to be the rest of the match. This is where this is like, I've never watched the Avengers, but this is some Avengers shit.
Yeah.
Gets involved, like all of Roman's, past enemies, like, everything comes back to fucking him in the arse. I think this is potential to be like one of the best matches ever. You know what I mean? I'm really, really, really excited for it. I want to temper my expectations, but I don't think they would build it up to the extent they've built it up. Main event of WrestleMania 40 as well. Remember, that's like a significant WrestleMania. I think they're gonna make this memorable as fuck, and I think we're gonna see some serious like involvements along the way. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but I think we're gonna see some shit.
I don't think we're seeing Austin because you have to pay that off. I think like what's more likely is The Rock is going to be a dick at ringside and Brandy's going to slap him. What I think is happening here, okay, I agree with everything you said. I think it's going to be an absolute barn burner. I think Cody is going to win this match, but it's going to be Mike Tyson WrestleMania 14 moment. I think there's going to be something happens with Roman and The Rock where Reigns accidentally hits The Rock or something, or they start shoving each other. Rock gives him a rock bottom. I don't think that's how Cody just climbs over and pins him. Do you know what I mean? I think
win. Yeah.
Yeah, like he will get a clean win, but that's going to happen and be the tide turning because they're setting up Reigns against Rock. So I think Cody's winning, but here's where I get to the theory that I've been saving, because I think Cody's winning. I don't think he's going to finish the story, though. What do I mean by that? I want you to go back to the fact of what I said last year when I said that Cody wasn't going to win. I upset a lot of people, but I was right. Let the record show. Because Cody's like Dusty Rhodes. That's what he's doing. He's not the American Dream. He's the American Nightmare, but everything he's doing is in his father's name. And what was Dusty Rhodes? Dusty Rhodes was the perennial title chaser. That is what he was, okay? Dusty Rhodes had 3 world championship reigns, all right? If I was to say his total reigns were over under, say, 6 months in total in days, what would you say? Would you say over or would you say under? Like in the total combined reigns?
Yeah,
under, by the way you're phrasing this.
Yes, of course. I led you with the question. He had 3 world championship reigns in his career. His entire total, I did maths for this, was 107 days as a champion. 3 months. He had, like, his first reign was for 5 days. His second reign was for 88 days. His third reign was just for 2 weeks. That's what Dusty Rhodes does. He wins the big one. He has the big moment, but then he loses it straight away again, which is really interesting because there's one thing that I said earlier on that plays into this theory, and that's the Judgment Day lose the tag team championship. So what's going to happen here is, and that's an interesting one, because sometimes when you get what I'm saying is going to happen, the person involved ends up losing a belt or losing a singles match that they had. Damian Priest is still senior Money in the Bank, and they're really, really just chilling out on that and not saying anything. I think Damian Priest is going to cash in and he's going to win this match. I think Damian Priest is going to walk out of there the champion here. It's going to upset
brutal.
a lot of people, but that's what happens. That's what happens to a Rhodes.
That's
what happens to a Rhodes.
That is shy. I know. I must. Oh,
that's what happens to Rhodes. That's what happens to Rhodes. They lose the belt straight away.
Yeah, but
Cody's story's not finishing.
You said his title reign was 5 days. That means he had one good moment that we got to enjoy. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna give us nothing. Like, nothing.
Well, you get your moment. You get your moment, but then you'll get it like
Priest is gonna cash in straight away. Is that not what you just said? That's what I thought. No, I totally get it if it was a good wrestler. What?
Maybe Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah, like I fully. But even then, you're forgetting one thing. Damian Priest is the Money in the Bank. You know what I mean? We're not talking about, like, you know, some other, like, really hot prospector, you know what I mean? You know, another, like, Gunther or, you know, whatever. Damian Priest, man.
Like, sure, out there. I'm just putting
it out there. Lay off. I love Damian Priest.
Sorry, Katie.
Just putting it out there, and he is great. He is absolutely class. He's been one of the main characters on shows for the past year.
No, do you know what this reminds me of? No, this, like, it's funny. I just said, like, how I want the match to be, like, super overbooked. This is too far now. This is, like, really. This is like
you were like Stone Cold Steve Austin, John Cena, but not Damian Priest.
yeah. No, I understand how it doesn't set up, you know, Reigns and Rock, but I mean. They're gonna do that on the night after, you know what I mean? The night after usually has special moments as well. Do you know what I mean? So Austin would be kind of like Austin and Rock would be kind of like, again, it'd be like how Reigns' like enemies are coming back to haunt him. It's like the Rock's enemies are coming back to haunt him as well. Do you know what I mean? So it's like kind of that's the line of thinking there. Man, Priest coming out, that is so shite. Like, I respect that the fact that you remembered. Like, I'll be honest. The rest of us have obviously all forgotten about Money in the Bank. So I respect the fact that it's in your brain. You managed to remember that.
They're keeping this for a reason. They're keeping it for a reason.
But that is so shite, man. Oh my god! Like, you have to. I think you're overlooking how shite that'd be. Like, you know
I'm not saying this is what I want. I'm not saying this is what I want. I'm saying this is what I think will happen. They've been keeping this for a reason and not mentioning it for the entire time. And Cody's gimmick is he wins and then he loses. I'm telling you.
Oh my god! No, don't say that. Don't say.
Well, look, guys. Anyway, that is Katey has frozen on us now. So With that
She's
said,
staring
she's
at you intensely. She's like, "What the fuck was that
yeah,
about?"
she's
Like,
not actually
money in
frozen.
the.
She's just that unimpressed.
Oh my god.
So look, guys, we'll find out all. Katie, enjoy it all in Philly. Can't wait. Keen, enjoy WrestleMania as well. We'll see anyway. Maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe I'll be right. We'll find out. We'll catch
Please
up
God,
shortly
Jesus
afterwards.
Christ. Oh
I'm,
my god, man!
I'm
You're actually
after
put the
just
fear in me
ruining.
now.
I'm
I
after
won't be
just
able to enjoy
ruining
his win now because I'll
WrestleMania.
be like, "Oh, I hope there's no cash in to ruin this." Like,
Just waiting for Priest music, like even after the
oh,
logo pops up. No, enjoy it, and who knows? I'm probably just wrong here, okay? But anyway, guys, look, last reminder: Woolshed WrestleMania Saturday. Tickets Eventbrite.ie. Get down there; it's going to be absolutely class. We're selling loads of tickets really fast as well, so it's going to be packed out. It's going to be a great night. We cannot wait. Corporate Keane, Katie Harvey, absolute pleasure for you joining us as always. Really appreciate it. But guys, until WrestleMania, where I hopefully see you and we'll get to hang out and have a few points for the first time in years. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for listening as always. And for Katie Harvey, for Corporate Keane, I've been Jer Leggett, and that's the bottom line because Lobo said so.